इंडिया वर्सेस इंग्लैंड जो मैच हुआ है उसके बारे में भी डिस्कस करना है। इंडिया वर्सेस साउथ अफ्रीका फाइनल का, T20 वर्ल्ड का फाइनल का भी डिस्कस करना है। सोचा कि आप सब लोगों से एक्चुअली डिस्कस करते मैच के बारे में, क्या हो सकता है, क्या होना चाहिए, सब डिस्कस करते। तो वैसे सोचा इसीलिए लाइव आए। आई होप दैट probably all of you actually join me. Definitely we'll be discussing about both the matches, India versus England as well as India versus South Africa. Let's just discuss. Let's just break down every single point. Let's just make you guys understand what actually happened and what is likely to happen in the finals. तो शुरू करते हैं। तो फर्स्ट जो था वो था इंडिया आपका। जैसे भी इंडिया फाइनल के सी, इंडिया हैज ऑलवेज बीन अ नेशन हु हैज बीन थैंक यू सुचरिता फॉर joining. I hope if you like the content, make sure you like, share and subscribe, and to everybody who is currently watching, make sure you like, share and subscribe to the channel. It just helps us stay motivated, as you all know. India and South Africa probably are the only two nations who have been undefeated and who have gone into the finals as the undefeated side. Pretty much it's pretty remarkable considering the fact that South Africa has won probably many matches which were actually they were on the brink of losing, but then when you're talking about India, they didn't actually have to sweat it out or even on the ground. India were remarkable right from the first match till the last match, till the time they played England. They were remarkable in every aspect of the game, be it their bowling, be it their fielding, be it the batting. They were pretty remarkable in every aspect of the game. They were superior on every front, and that is the beauty of this Indian team. That is the sheer quality that the Indian team has. So India actually England को फेस किया. I don't know what actually is making other teams think that probably they have to field first. Defending a certain total would be a problem. I don't know why they are thinking that way. They, in this kind of pitches, in these slow conditions, if you are actually playing a certain match. Thanks Anish, thanks for joining back. I hope if you like the content, please do make sure you drop a like as well as comment down the things that you want us to discuss on this live. So definitely we'll try to get along all of those topics pretty soon. Also the fact that India had a tough, probably speaking the fact that India were pretty remarkable in the way they progressed the group stage. They won their matches against Canada, they won their matches against Ireland as well as Pakistan was a match that probably India had to sweat it out, but then other than that India were pretty remarkable in every game. If you're one-to-one comparing India with the South Africa side, probably will say that on any given day India would be winning this match. They have got genuine quality in their ranks, they have got players who can actually make a difference, but this South Africa side probably would be a team that would come out all guns blazing. Nobody expected South Africa to actually pose a challenge. Nobody expected South Africa to actually come this far into the competition. It was always India, England, and Australia who would be competing for this title. But then also we have to understand the fact that England in these pitches is not the same team that you generally get to see them playing on flat pitches. If this match would have been played out any other ground, maybe probably in Lords, in any of those grounds, for example, you would have got to see a different England side. But then playing spin bowling on a spinning friendly pitch, you always knew that England would be struggling against this pitch, and that was pretty evident from the way Butler actually played the first ball of Akshar Patel. He was very very scared of the fact that Akshar would be getting him out. What England's mentality was, and probably what Australia's mentality then for consideration, if you would say that Bangladesh still it's fine because they are a mediocre side. They have always been a side who has struggled. Probably in the last couple of matches they played against India in the ICC matches, you would say that the 2016 match that we remembered in Bangalore, it was played, the very last one, where Mahendra Singh Dhoni actually ran out, actually got the better of, most probably it was Mamadullah. I can't exactly remember, but then it was time for, in the Australia in Perth also, we Liton Das was absolutely bolstering the match, but then after a point, they couldn't capitalize on the start they got. That was thank you Swapnilda for joining back. I hope if you like the content, please drop like, also share, and also share this live stream so that others get to see it as well. Thank you everybody for joining back. Also the fact that Bangladesh are still rising, whereas look at Afghanistan. Yes, to be honest, I genuinely do get this. I genuinely do think that Afghanistan, with see the fact that Afghanistan has always been a side who has who has actually rised in the occasion. Probably would say that Afghanistan, Sunil Gavaskar actually made a statement a few days back that probably now in Asia, Afghanistan is the second best side, and I completely do agree with him, because Afghanistan, with the way, if they are getting a certain condition, probably on a fast-paced wicket, probably in the likes of Lords, or if you are actually playing at Kaaba, Afghanistan won't be able to actually perform that way. They are pretty similar to England. England has genuine problem against spin bowling. Afghanistan has genuine problem playing pacers. But then if they're getting friendly conditions, if they're getting subcontinent pitches, you definitely would get to see that probably they are actually posing a serious challenge to many of the big nations. India have always been a side who has probably in the T20 circuit, probably you would say that India has always been a side who has actually who was 5 years late, probably you would say, the way Australia, the way England was approaching this T20 game, they were approaching this T20 competition, you would say that they were pretty reluctant on the fact that they would be going all guns blazing right from ball one. India weren't playing that way, but then we also have to understand the fact that India have always been a team who in the 50 over circuit as well, you would always see them building a certain block, right, to actually bolster at the very end. They have always been a side who have wanted to actually build a certain momentum, who actually wanted to keep wickets in hand to go bonkers in the last few overs. They have always been a side who played that way. India have always been a side who acted that way. They were, in that aspect, you would say that what happens is, if you are England, suppose for the example, if you are an England side, on many days you would get to see England getting bowled out for 80-90. That happens with England, even in pitches which is pretty helpful for batsmen. They would be bowled out for 80-90. That days do come if you are actually playing the England way. One day you would be fascinated by the way they actually go all guns blazing. They would win matches 170-0, like they won against India as well in Adelaide 2022. But the way but this time we played a different brand of attacking cricket, the path being shown by Hitman. Exactly my point, I was just getting to that. I know Virat Kohli failed. I absolutely get the fact that Virat Kohli failed. Virat Kohli as a player, he absolutely failed. But then the intent Virat Kohli showed right from ball one actually undermines, actually entitles the fact that probably you are actually getting to see a player, you are actually getting to see a team who has taken the decision not just for an individual. Probably what if we would have been in some other era, probably everybody would have said that Virat Kohli would be just defending from one position. He would just take his own sweet time. He would just make sure that he is not losing out his wicket, and then will go bonkers from the other end. Any Indian team have played that way. For example, 2007, this T20 tournament started, right? And we are in 2024. Probably you would say 17 years we have played that way. But this World Cup, Rahul Dravid, Hitman have shown the path that probably somebody like Virat Kohli also have to play the attacking brand of cricket. He is failing this at this point of time. Probably he would even fail in the final. But probably even if by God's grace we should be touchwood, we should be winning against the South African side because we are a very formidable side. But then if you are actually with the way that we are batting, with the way that we are approaching our game, probably we won't be happy scoring 150 in that Barbados wicket as well. This Barbados wicket definitely is not a pitch that probably any other team would be scoring 220. India is probably the batting the very best in this competition. That is the reason why you are getting to see India repeatedly getting scores of above 170, 180. That is the sheer quality of this Indian team. That is the sheer audacity of this Indian team. We are having genuine great players. The likes of Virat Kohli, the likes of Hitman are actually very, very good players. And definitely we are not probably somebody like Surya Kumar Yadav. He is batting at an average of, he is batting with a strike rate of 150, 160. You are getting to see him probably every 2 or 3 balls you would get to see him scoring a 6 or scoring a 4. But then the sheer amount of average that he has, the sheer talent that he has to actually still have a, probably he's having a success rate. The other day I was just going through some of the feeds, I got to see that he's having a success rate of 67%, which probably means that if he's actually playing a couple of innings, probably 1.5 times you would actually get to see him scoring above 30. And that, for somebody like Surya Kumar Yadav, that for somebody of the stature of a Surya Kumar who is actually playing that much of an attacking brand of cricket, you surely have to praise him for that. You surely have to entitle the fact that players like Surya Kumar Yadav, players like Hitman Sharma have always been a part of attacking brand of cricket. They have always had faith in that attacking brand of cricket, but still they have done remarkably well for India. South Africa have actually got the luck of Mark from this side. He has pulled out 1 or 2 victories from where South Africa could have lost. That is the reason why probably I won't be sitting pretty comfortable. That is probably one of those reasons I would want India to actually take 2 or 3 quick wickets. If we are actually getting into the middle order of this South Africa side, you would get to see players struggling a bit. Probably somebody like Klaasen, probably somebody like Markram. He had 2 or 3 quick knocks, he had 2 or 3 30s, which actually helped South Africa bail through. But then you would also see them struggling against minnows. Yes, South Africa won their matches. Yes, South Africa have got past the finishing line on any of those occasions. They have been an unbeaten side. We have to praise them for that. But they have struggled against minnows, and South Africa genuinely are a choker side. They have always been a side who actually, given the occasion gets better than them, and that is what India must capitalize on. If we are putting them under the pump, if we are able to actually put the pressure in their head, if we are able to actually make life extremely difficult for those South African batsmen, I bet you the fact that India would actually bundle them to a score below 100. That is the effect of this Indian team. This 2023 World Cup, we actually decimated every single team. Probably I would even go far as saying this: if we would have played a best of 3 matches against this Australian side, if that tournament would have been a best of 3 against Australia, probably I would have gone out to say that India should have won couple of matches. They would have won couple of matches. The problem with this Indian side is they are such big players like Virat Kohli, players like Rohit Sharma. They have genuine so much of expectations riding on their shoulders. Suppose just put yourself in Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Surya Kumar Yadav, Bumrah's shoulders. Just imagine the sheer amount of pressure that they are going through every single day. Everybody in that hotel room is coming out and saying, "Boss, aapko jeetna hai kal ka match." Just the sheer amount of pressure those guys actually is living their day with. it's insane. I can't just rest around the fact that how these players, this Virat Kohli, for example, Virat Kohli have. I would just go on to say that everybody knows that I'm a huge fan of Messi, but honestly speaking, I love Virat Kohli no less. Virat Kohli, the stature of a player that he is, not just his cricketing, not just because he has scored. Probably there was a stage where he would just score hundreds for fun. 2016 to 2019, every single match he used to play, he used to score centuries. I still remember that we had a series in South Africa, Durban. He was playing at Canberra. He was playing as every single matches he used to score hundreds. Every single matches we actually won 5-0 that ODI series. If my memory is actually serving me well. Probably we won 5-0, and Virat Kohli has always been a player who has actually who has actually gone past the occasion, who has actually made India proud, has actually made India stupendously proud of the way he has approached every single match, every single game. That is the beauty of this Indian team, and that is the beauty of this, probably that is the beauty of India, and that is the beauty of Virat Kohli as a player. Memes surrounding the social media have been that the final is between chokers of all time versus chokers of the last decade. 6-1 against SA. Is that the ODI series you are talking about? Probably that was played in 2018 or 2019. I can't recall. I'm not sure, Anish. We played a I remember the fact that we played. I'm not sure whether I can pull you in this conversation. Can I pull you in into this live? Let's just give me a moment. I'll just try highlight. I have never done this before. I'll just try if I'm able to actually pull you in. Will you be free to join? Are you free to join? Actually, I can pull you in if you feel like. Yeah, we actually played. Actually, I'm not able to. We'll see. See some other day. Yeah, sure. We'll definitely see some other day. Yeah, 2018. I recall the moment. Actually, we played a test series before that as well. India lost the first match. We were actually. It was in Johannesburg, the second match, I believe. South Africa was asked to score 200. Probably in the fourth innings they were batting. Hashim Amla was absolutely was absolutely playing a phenomenal innings, and then probably somebody got him out. That pitch was absolutely horrible. India were bowled out for 120, 130, I believe. South Africa should have scored 200. Another series that I would like to talk about. We are going into the memory lane, but we shouldn't. We should be sticking to the T20 World Cup 2024. But another match that I just want to talk about is the Bangalore match where India versus Australia was playing, and Australia needed to score 180. And I recall that. Smith was out on a Ishan Sharma ball, and he was actually looking at his own dressing room, thinking that whether he should be taking a DRS or not. I also remember the fact that Sean Marsh was out on a way probably fifth, sixth stump line. Who was there? Who was the umpire? He actually gave him out. I recall that match. Ishan Sharma was making faces to Smith. I remember that moment. Those were the vintage days. Absolutely, sports has given us a lot of fun. Who would be saying that after getting out for 36, after actually getting all out for 36, Ajinkya Rahane, Rohit Sharma was also not there. Rohit Sharma probably was part of the Indian side in the third test match, probably the one which we played in Sydney. Rishabh Pant won us many games, and there are people who still questions the fact that should Rishabh Pant be actually added in that team. Rishabh Pant has always been a player ahead of his time, has always been a player you would look up to in the big occasions. When the occasion comes, Rishabh Pant would genuinely deliver. That is the kind, if somebody is actually succeeding, somebody like Virat Kohli, I'm not taking names of players, probably the likes of Pujara or Rahane, I wouldn't take their names, but then for players who are able to succeed at the test level, for players who are actually able to win you matches in the test circuit, probably they would be able to play any form of the game. That is the sheer amount of quality you need to be a test cricketer. Probably that is the sheer amount of talent you need to be a test cricketer. Because like once Ravichandran Ashwin was asked what is probably uh, which sport comes most close to life, he said test cricket. Test cricket is the sport which actually makes you understand the true essence of life, which makes you understand that if you are struggling today, it doesn't matter, you would struggle tomorrow. Probably even if even if you are losing out on everything possible today, there will always be a sunrise tomorrow, and it would actually help you bail out of the situation. You have to keep fighting, you have to keep struggling, and that is what test cricket is all about. That is the reason why when you are actually playing matches in Australia, when you are actually playing overseas matches in Johannesburg, when you are playing matches in Old Trafford is a football ground, but then Lords or any other grounds for that example, you are playing matches at Wellington, you would always get the beauty of the sport. You would always get to understand what Test cricket is all about. Test cricket has given us, and speaking of Test cricket, who has idealized, who has actually made Test cricket the best possible sport? It's none other than Virat Kohli. He is the ambassador, he is the brand ambassador of Test cricket. He has actually helped India, he has actually globalized, he has actually helped Test cricket to revive its lost prestige. He actually helped Test cricket to actually revive that feeling of people coming out there in the stands, watching Virat Kohli play, watching bowlers like Shami, Bumrah sweating it out in under the sun to actually take those, to actually the game plan that they need to actually bowl at other team out. That is the sheer amount of quality this man has. That is the sheer amount of quality we are talking about. We are talking about none other than Virat Kohli. Rishabh Pant needs to be careful with his shot selection. Sometimes it seems so weird when he gets out. It actually is, but that is who we are talking about. That is Rishabh Pant. I remember an IPL match where he absolutely smashed Bhuvaneshwar Kumar for 30 runs in the final penultimate over. I remember he was playing for Delhi Capitals, and Bhuvaneshwar was actually probably he was obviously he would be playing at the Sunrisers Hyderabad. But then I remember he was actually bowling to Rishabh Pant in the Kotla, and Rishabh Pant smashed him all round the park. That is the sheer quality of this man. I genuinely, I probably this match, you were talking about probably the wicket that he lost. Also the fact that Rishabh Pant lost out a couple of he was dropped a couple of times in the match versus Australia, I believe. He was dropped a couple of times, and then he smashed Australia upside down. He went bonkers after that. That is probably this Australia match himself. He got a couple of life, and then he scored 40 or 50. I can't recall that. Shane Warne once said, "Keep playing for a long, long time." Virat, I guess you remember after the Oval Test victory in 2021. Yes, I clearly remember. Shane Warne, oh, what a legend he truly has been. I still remember the ball of the century, Shane Warne. Absolutely, he is. We would always, whenever this sport will be played, whenever Australian cricket, we would be talking about Australian cricket. Definitely, Shane Warne would be talked about. He is an absolute gem of a player, and it feels so good to actually talk about Shane Warne and the true legacy that he has. For this game, he has given his everything, and you need personalities like these. You need players like these who are actually frantic, who are actually, you won't see another character like Shane Warne. Probably players like, if we are about talking about football, players like somebody like Maradona, they're absolutely frantic characters. You won't get to see players like those. Probably you won't get to see players like Shane Warne. You won't get to see players like Gale. That is the reason why these players are idols, and these players are always looked up to. The absolute legend. Yes, maybe he scored 128 in that IPL match against Hyderabad. I can't remember that, but then yeah, I remember the fact that he smashed Bhuvi all around the park. Bhuvi was absolutely helpless. He scored around 30, if my memory serves me right. He went absolute bonkers in that match. But then it's India versus South Africa tomorrow. I genuinely don't understand the fact that why Australia, why Bangladesh, and then England is not trying to defend the total that they get on the board. Why they are not actually trying to pose a challenge to India? Why they are not trying to get 250 and then probably with their entire team probably trying to defend the target? I don't know what is their thinking, why they are actually trying to play this way. Don't they understand the fact that on spinning conditions, the more the sun sets in, the more the pitch gets the heat, that pitch obviously will slow down. It would slow down by every passing ball. That pitch would be slowing down. That is genuinely like, if players, if noobs like me, you understand the fact that that pitch would be slowing down after a certain point of time in the afternoon time, why is Australia, England not able to understand that? And what was the need for England to play those kind of rash shots? Also, the fact that Bairstow is horribly out of form. I don't know what he tries to do when he is actually playing speech. Would you actually play that way? Why would you keep that amount of daylight between the bat and your pad in the very first ball that we are playing against Spain? What was the need? Um, can you talk about the pitch for tomorrow? The conditions, will there be rain? Definitely there is huge focus of rain. 190, obviously 190 minutes is the added time. I don't know if you were aware that 250 minutes were the 250 minutes was the added time that was set in for the semi final match that was played at Guyana. 250 minutes was the additional time. So probably if the match is starting at 8, then till 12:10, there would be, even if the match starts at 12:10 I'm talking about the England tie that was played last night. So if the match would have started at 12:10, then also you would have got to see a 20 over full contest. After that you would start losing overs, and here it's 190 minutes, so probably till 11:10 you won't be losing overs. After that you would be losing out on overs. But the ICC has made one rule that it should be a 10 over contest. A definite 10 over contest should be played out to actually acknowledge the winner, to actually understand the winner of the competition. So that way it would be there. Definitely it's a good thing that India, that the final won't be just a 5 over contest. The lesser the overs get, probably you would say the competition between the two teams narrows down, the gulf between the two teams shrinks down, you would get to say that. But then I don't understand the fact that why probably you would just allow these kind of matches, these high voltage matches. You generally don't want rain to interfere. I don't understand the fact that why. This match at Guyana was there was huge focus of thunderstorms and rain, right, a couple of months back. So probably at that time, if ICC has understanding of the fact that it would be raining, it would have thunderstorms at Guyana. There was a cyclone at Guyana a couple of days previous to the semi final that we played. So if you have an understanding, if the weather forecast says the fact that this match won't be getting played. There were 3 matches that got washed out. One was the last match that we played, India versus Canada. It probably was. Pakistan versus Ireland was a rain curtailed match, which Pakistan almost lost, but then Babar Azam helped them win it. And the previous match, probably voice is audible, and we would continue with the conversation that we were already having. That is why we want Rohit Sharma to bat first on such slow and spinning tracks. The wicket will slow down as the match progresses. Ball will also start to reverse maybe in the later part. Obviously, it would. And the slower the pitch gets, the better conditions it is for the Indian bowling attack. The better it would get for the bowling team, for the Indian team. I just want this match to not be decided by the toss. I would want the match to not get decided by rain, because once actually what happens is I understand the fact that इंडिया साउथ अफ्रीका चोकर है, और साउथ अफ्रीका का बहुत पुराना रिश्ता है साउथ अफ्रीका का बारिश से. बट if India would actually be comfortable, India would actually be pretty happy with the fact that if they're able to bat first, because after a certain point of time, what happens is once you are actually putting up a certain total, then it becomes slightly easier for you as a batting team. But then also the fact that who would be winning the toss, if South Africa is batting first, then it would be 55-45 in favor of India. But then if India is batting first, and then if we are not losing out early wickets, probably if we are not losing out early wickets in the first 2 3 overs, I would go on to say that it would be 70-30 in favor of India. I just hope that India is not actually feeling the pressure, India is not feeling the heat, and I expect Virat Kohli to play sensibly in the first few overs, and then he can absolutely go bonkers at the later end of the innings. Let's just hope and see that what happens in tomorrow's match. I just hope that India clinches tomorrow's tie, because it would mean that we are winning an ICC trophy after 11 years, and that would be truly, truly special, not just for the Indian team, but for all the fans out there in the entire globe. I think the wind will also play a part in tomorrow's match, so the bowlers accordingly need to adjust. Maybe it might be. I'm not sure about the ground dynamics, but then definitely wind might also play a factor, because what happens is in these island nations, what happens is you get seas and oceans at regular points, so the breeze is always there, and that will allow the ball to from the Brian Ladder Pavilion. What might happen is, if you're actually bowling in swingers, the reverse swing might just happen. Also, the ball might just go away from the batsman as well. There would be probability of that as well. Let's just hope and see. Let's just wait that. Let's just see if actually India is able to win tomorrow's tie. It has been more than a decade that we have seen Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma lifting a trophy together. I just hope that India wins tomorrow's tie, and definitely if India is able to win tomorrow's tie, be making I would surely be coming out in live, and definitely would be making a video of that as well. Thank you everybody for joining back. I hope if you like the content, make sure you like, share and subscribe to the channel. Till then, it's goodbye from Supratik Acharya.